The NFL draft is officially 2 days away. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. 2 days away from the NFL draft, Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I am so ecstatic for the NFL drafts. Obviously, welcome back to the Commanders Guru today. Welcome to the Commanders Guru. Oh my god, where I talk all things Commanders, NFL, and NFL draft. And today we have my top 32 big board for the Commanders if I was the GM. This is how I would be going into the NFL draft. Day one for pick 7 and onward, for maybe 72, but for 71, but most likely just for 7. Because I can't. There might be a chance some of these players are available at 71, but this is how my big board would look for day 1 and maybe day 2 of the NFL draft if I was GM, if I was Adam Peters, and if I was the GM for the Washington Commanders. So without further ado, Commanders fans, let's hop right into this. And the first player that I have on my big board for the Washington Commanders is Jeremiah Love. Obviously, the best player in the draft, and we need someone to help out Jaren Daniels. All the other quarterbacks in his draft class. Let's just start off with Caleb Williams. He had a generational wide receiver trio in Luther Burden, DJ Moore, and Roman Dunze, and then obviously had 2 really good tight ends and a good running back with a top 3 offensive line with one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in the entire NFL. Drake Mays, he's going to have A.J. Brown. He had Stephon Diggs last year, who had the best separation rate in the entire NFL. Keishawn Butte, who is one of the most underrated wide receiver 2s in the entire NFL. Kyle Williams, who has one of the best yak abilities in the entire NFL. So, and honestly, Bo Nix obviously has Jalen Waddle now. Why can't Jaren Daniels have anything? This is the reason why a lot of people think he's not that good. Because unfortunately, it's hard for him to perform that well when he's hurt and obviously thrown to Chris Morris as wide receiver 1. So, obviously, Jeremiah Love would absolutely transform this offense and would make Jaren Daniels' life 100 times easier, and might even even help out his injury concerns. So that is a lot of reasons why he's number 1, and that's kind of the gist of it at number 1. Number 2, another offensive player, Carnell Tate. Now, obviously, he's not the second best player in this year's NFL draft, but wide receiver is such a need, and Carnell Tate is one of the best wide receivers, and he's also the youngest wide receiver out of the big 3 of Carnell Tate himself, Jordan Tyson, and Mekhi Lemon. A lot of people actually have him mocked during the Commanders now as of today, and in the past couple of days. As a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure I saw that he was the favorite to go at 7 on Kalshi, but Carnell Tate, in my opinion, is one of, if not one of the best wide receiver prospects in this year's draft class. I think he's a little better than Jordan Tyson just because of the fact that he does not drop anything, and he also has way better injury history. Carnell Tate does not get hurt. He has 0% drop. He has a 0% drop rate. He is a big time player that plays well in big time games against good big time defenses. So, I think for what it is, I think he's one of the best wide receivers in this year's draft class. And a lot of people are just sucking out Jordan Tyson because he had some sexy routes to get separation against nobody cornerbacks. I'm sorry, but Carnell Tate's doing this against some of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. And this year, unfortunately, for you no-name delusional sports fans that watched college, I didn't watch college, at Ohio State, Carnell Tate was the 1B for Ohio State. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. This isn't the first time where a wide receiver 2 out of Ohio State's been drafted and was good in the NFL. So a lot of people are tripping, and I think that this guy has talent to become one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL. Number 3 on the big board for the Commanders, Sonny Styles. Again, addressing the defense is super good. I mean, you could go Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon to just give help for Jaren Daniels, or you can just select a defensive player just to solidify him that this defense will be a good and not be a complete fucking disadvantage for the football team in general. Sonny Styles is the player that will be everywhere on the football field. Sonny Styles, the problem is about him, the thing about him, is that he is one of the most athletic linebackers that we will ever see in our entire lives. Another thing about Sonny Styles, too, is that he's super athletic, and you pair him up with another super athletic linebacker like Leo Chanel. Put me in Chanel, put me in Chanel. You can literally just have two super athletic linebackers, and this will probably be the most hyped up I will be for a linebacker duo in a very long time in my entire life. I think these guys will succeed more than Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu did in 2024. They will be super good together. I think Sonny Styles is, some bust might be written on him a little bit, but you know what? I think that chances of him being a bust, especially with a coaching staff like the Commanders have, super unlikely, and I think that this guy would be one of the best linebackers in the entire NFL at some point in his career if he went to Commanders, of course. Number 4. Arvell Reese. He's the second best player in my opinion, and he's the second best player in this year in the NFL draft. Arvell Reese is the type of a player, but if he's there at 7 for God knows why, you have to select him. The reason why he's not 2 is because I'm trying to be a little bit realistic here, because he's not going to be there at 7. I'm sorry. He's not going to be there at 7. If he really wants to, you can move him up to 7. You can move Arvell Reese up to 2. Because he's just that good. But he's not going to be there at 7. I'm going to be a little bit realistic here. I don't think he's going to be there at 7. But if he's there at 7, God, it'll be so hard not to select him. So, yeah, nah. Arvell Reese, he's super good. Like him a lot. So, man. It's hard out here. Number 5. Cornerback. Master of the lane. Cornerback is one of the more valuable positions. And I think, looking at cornerback room, he could have used somebody else. I think Master of the lane and Trey Amos would be one of the best cornerback duos in the entire NFL. I think Trey Amos is I think he's so poised to break out and become one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL regardless. And Master of the lane is so good at man press that cornerback is still a need for us. I think our 2 biggest needs, in my opinion, are cornerback and wide receiver. That's why we have one of each in the top 5. Kind of take that 2, and Master of the lane obviously at 5. So he's super good. He does not allow anything. He allowed like 13 catches, 0 touchdowns, had 2 interceptions, and allowed like a super low pass rate. He's super elite. He's super good at man, super good at zone. I would be happy to see him at 7, in my opinion. Number 6, Caleb Downs. The reason why he's not above Master Lane is because he's a safety. I do think, in my opinion, with the addition of Nick Cross, I think safety is a little bit less of a need than cornerback, and to add that safety is not that as valuable as cornerback, that I just think I'd put Master Lane over him. So, yeah, but he, in my opinion, Caleb Downs has all pro written all over him, and I think the Commanders do end up selecting him. I think I'll be ecstatic. I think I'd be ecstatic to have Caleb Downs on this football team. And, no, I would. I think Caleb Downs might actually just be the selection at 7, but I would love him at 7 personally. But he's super good. He's good at coverage. He's good at tackling. He's good at literally everything. You can put him at any aspect of the football field. You can put him at any position. You can put him at the box. You can put him at big nickel. You can put him at safety, at deep safety. He will do that at an elite level. I think this is key to Caleb Downs, especially on the Commanders. Is a player that might become one of the best safeties of all time and be a perennial All-Pro and a Hall of Famer in the future if you select him at 7. Number 7, where we are selected, Roommate Jr. Roommate Jr. I think it's definitely a player that we could definitely use more hedge help. I don't think Kayvon Chaisson. I think Kayvon Chaisson is more of a just a 1-year rental just to see and just find a better replacement next year. Or, maybe even get one at 7 here. But, Roommate Jr., what he does so well is that he might have shorter arms, which, might be a little bit of a worry. But the thing about Roommate is that you can move him. You can put him at edge on pass downs, run downs. Because he is a great run defender. great, and I think he'll be super effective at run defense at the edge position. And then on passing down, you can put him interior, which I think there's a little bit of a bigger hole than people might think at the interior defensive line. And he could be one of the most dynamic defensive linemen in the entire NFL. And I do think that he's a good option, a good viable option at 7 if you think if that is well fit for you. Again, one of these 7 players will guaranteedly be on the board at 7. One of these players will be on the board at 7. God, any of these players will guaranteedly be on the board at 7. By the way, so because we all know somebody Fernando Mendoza is going to win. What the I hate this. Number 8, we have Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson is really good separation. You could even say he's a wide receiver 1 in this year's draft class. He's a wide receiver 2 in my opinion. The thing with Jordan Tyson is that he's great separation. He's good bend. Blah blah blah. He just had injury history though. That's just my problem. If he didn't have scary injury history, I think he would easily be the wide receiver 1 this year's draft class. A lot of people are like writing his dick on Twitter. I just don't like it. And it's just super. It's like, are we serious? Are we serious? Are we serious? But no, Jordan Tyson's super good. I would love him a lot on the Commanders. For the Commanders at 7. You know what? A lot of people have him in top 10 now, and I definitely would like him at 7 too. If we do think that, I think that would be a good pick. I think we're getting close to getting the range out of the top 7 pick now. So I'll let you know when we get back to like trade down to like the 10 to 20 range though. Jeremy McCoy, he might be the cornerback 1 this year's draft class. He's 2 years younger than Manson Lane. He might be a little bit more athletic. He showed that in his pro day, and he's a little bit better at turning over the football. The thing is that he didn't play. He did not play. If he played, he's probably better than Master Lane, but he didn't. There's a little bit more question marks, even though he had a great pro day. So I mean, yeah, but I still cornerback, valuable position. We need a position there, and Jeremy McCoy, even at 7, I think there's a good chance you could trade back a couple picks, get more value, and then take them. But even at 7, I think that's all a good selection, in my opinion, at 7 for the Commanders. Number 10, we're getting out of the final one, top 10. Mekhi Lemon. And there's a player that I would even like at 7 too. Great slot guy. He's on a Monroe type build, but he's a great cash point, and he is he's great at yak, which will be very important for Jane Daniels' development, and just for Jane Daniels too, because all of his other quarterbacks selected in his draft class have these great yak ability wide receivers. Daniels doesn't, so Mekhi Lemon could definitely well be one of the best options at 7 too. Number 11, David Bailey. I'm a little bit off the David Bailey train. I do think the edge is less of a need than it used to be. Obviously, when you pay $100 million to a guy named Odafe Elway, and then get Kevin Chase on, and you get Amani, or whatever you say his name. You still have Dorrance Armstrong too. So, but he could definitely be a good option at 7. A lot of people are saying that he's gonna suck. I don't see that at all. He is the best pass rusher in this draft class by a wide mile. He's a tiny bit old, and also, yeah, he's not the best at run defense though, but he's still a really good prospect. Number 12, Alabeka Ione. I still think guard is a need. Chris Paul, he is really good at pass blocking, right? He's not that good at run defense. And you know what? For a guard, you might want to be good at run defense. You know what? But I still think the guard position. Especially I think it's left guard, is definitely a good. Might be a need too. I still think center is a bigger need, but Ione is just a great talent, and I just don't think we should. I don't want to take him at 7, but if you want to trade down and get like a day 2 pick and then take him, man, I would ride with that. I would ride with that. If you take him at 7, you don't get any. Probably be pissed. I'd be pissed off. Francis Marinoa at 13. Great tackle. He's more of a right tackle than left tackle, of course. But he's where like you even move into guard. And you know what? Okay, more tackles too. I still like Josh Connolly, but Francis Marinoa is a top 10 talent if you didn't watch my top 32 players. And you know what? Adding a top 10 talent from a draft, regardless if you don't really need a tackle, at the end of the day, still might just be a good selection. So I would be kind of like questioning it. I would really want to see how that works out, but we will see. Dylan safety out of Oregon. I think this is now when we get down to like guaranteed trade back. I do not want to take Dylan Thieneman at 7 at all, with most likely Caleb Downs on the board, personally. Yes, he's super athletic. He's really good at covering the football. He's really good at coverage. 7's not the place for me. This is where you trade back and get more value and get more picks and get all this new stuff, maybe even a player or two, who even knows, and then get Dylan Thieneman. But he's out there too, and he's at 14 on the pick board. So now we're at like trade back. Now we're at like trade back. By the way, Spencer Afano. The reason why Spencer Afano's up here is because he can play guard and center, which actually might theoretically be more of a need. Might be a little bit more valuable than Francis Marinoa, but Francis Marinoa is just way better than Spencer Afano, in my opinion. But Spencer Afano, he could very well be at the guard position. He took snaps at center at the combine too. I just think 7's a little too early, but he could very well be a really good center in the NFL for us because of his short arm length. So I like Spencer Afano could definitely be a really good player for us if we need him to at center. And who knows? I would like to trade back, but number 7, maybe we take him at 7. Who knows, man? I don't know. I don't like Adam players. Number 16 got Avon Terrell. Avon Terrell is a player that I want. That you have, in my opinion, you have to trade back to get. But I still think he's a pretty good cornerback, and obviously need is bigger than other stuff than talent at some points. And cornerback is such a big need that Avon Terrell is not a bad cornerback, and I think that we could easily select him at any point that's not at 7 in a trade back, and I'd be okay with it. So Avon Terrell is there at 16. Number 17, we have Kedrick Falk, just because of the edge. Edge is also a very valuable prospect, and Kedrick Falk is a development type guy, and especially with our loaded edge room, that you can definitely like take a step back and just learn a thing or two, and sit back and be like a rotational guy for a year or two, and then get in and then become an absolute freak of an edge rusher. So who knows? Again, at Kedrick Falk, I do think he's not going to go top 10, maybe not top 15. You could take him at 7. I'm not gonna lie. You could take him at 7. He is that talented. It's not the best pass rusher. You need to teach him. He's raw at pass rushing though. So you might need to teach him up a little bit. But you know what? You could trade back and get like a haul and then take him, and I'd be okay with that personally. 18, wide receiver. We got Omar Cooper. He's really good at what he does. He has good hands, good route running. He knows where his feet are. He knows how to play the sideline. He's a pretty good NFL player, and Omar Cooper, he could very well be that for the Washington Commanders. Also, unfortunately I did spell Dylan wrong. Dylan Thieneman. There's no I, so my bad. Omar Cooper, no, but hey, he's a good wide receiver, position of need. He's a good route runner. He has good hands. He has decent separation. I think his his play at the sidelines are just something that like are just like super good. He knows where to put his feet, man. Like he knows how to do that stuff. He's good ball tracking skills too. So that's why he's at 8. So Omar Cooper's at 18. Number 19, Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez, great linebacker. He's a little bit older, but he's a linebacker who can just become an absolute freak. I'm higher than Jacob Rodriguez and a lot of people. He could go top 16, by the way, guys. He could go top 16. He's a player that can create a lot, and I mean a lot of turnovers for us, and we might need a guy like that. I don't think you don't want to reach on a guy like that, like Emmanuel Forbes. That didn't work out at all. But no, he's super good and he's super talented. He's really athletic and he's a silent guy. He looks a little bit undersized too, but he can get the job done for sure. Here's another wild card. This guy that can't be there at 71. Chris Johnson. This is now like day 2 range, by the way. I think we're down to like day 2 range. I think. Chris Johnson. Now he can like truthfully like do everything for us. He can do literally whatever he needs to. He's super good at man press. He's good at zone. He allows like a super low pass rating too. He's super good. His film's great. I love him a lot. He's super underrated. And I think if he's there at 71, and you go to Colonel Tate at 7, and at Chris Johnson is there at like 71, bro. For whatever reason. That is the easiest, in my opinion, that is the easiest selection that I have ever seen in my entire life. Like, you have to take Chris Johnson there. If you get Colonel Tate. And then, like, literally, our 2 biggest holes, our 2 biggest needs on our entire football team are filled. And I guarantee, and I will say this, that happens, we have 2 good players. We at least have more than 1 good player at each position. I cannot say this team's bad. I can't hate on this team at all. Colton Hood, another cornerback. I like Chris Johnson a little more because of his abilities and his frame. But Colton Hood, he still has a talent, and I just don't think the reason why he's a little bit lower than Chris Johnson is because of the fact that he's I don't think he will be there at 71. The only chance I see he's taking Colton Hood is if we trade back to like the late 20s. Then we take him and get like an absolute haul. And he's still a good prospect, but I would maybe just take, for some reason, if Colton Hood and Chris Johnson are at 71, I maybe take Colton Hood over Chris Johnson, but Chris Johnson is just a little bit higher, just one ranking higher, just because of the fact that it's more likely. And also, I might just like Chris Johnson a little bit more, personally, but a lot of people obviously like Colton Hood more than Chris Johnson. Number 22, Peter Woods. This is definitely another trade back situation. I don't think interior defensive alignment is a need. It's like a big need just yet for this team. But next year it might be. Next year it might be. So Peter Woods, in my opinion, is a really good pass rusher, really good run defender. He's just a good defensive lineman. So it's 420 on 420. Damn. Sorry, Peter Woods. No, he's super good, good prospect. Would definitely like to trade down. I don't want to take him at 7, but I definitely would like to trade down to take him. He could be a really good player for this football team, of course, in an impossible trade down situation. Number 23, we got R. Mason Thomas, another trade down situation too. I don't think he falls to 71. If he does, I would be ecstatic. R. Mason Thomas, he's a super bendy edge rusher he's super good at pass rushing too. He's super bendy, he's explosive, he's kind of young. So you know what he can do? He can do things, man. And I would definitely like him at 71 if he falls. So R. Mason Thomas, he's super good, and he's a really underrated edge rusher. I'm higher on him than most people are actually. So yeah. 24, we got Zion Young, edge rusher out of Missouri. He's another really good edge rusher who he might actually be there at 71. He could be there at 71, by the way. He could. I like him. He's bendy. He's explosive. He's really good pass rushing. He's a little bit better than run defense too, than or Mason Thomas is, but he's just not as explosive. I like that explosiveness for an edge rusher too, and especially with us already having a stacked off the defensive end group. So now he's definitely Zion Young's definitely there at 74 though, and he's really good. He's really good. So I mean, I don't know how we'll get him. Maybe he falls 71, or if he trade back and gets day 2 pick and then take him. But nah, Zion Young is at 24. Number 25, we got AJ Holliday. AJ Holliday could very well be there at 71, and if he's there, I might take him. He's super good. He's the most true deep safety who is elite at coverage in the entire draft, in my opinion. He's the only safety that is a primary deep safety who is elite at coverage, which is a position of need. So, very well, if he's there at 71, I might just take him, regardless. Even if we have Caleb Downs, I might just eye him down and take him, regardless. It might be stupid, but if you think Colin Tate and H. Hollis is there at 71, I might just have to take him. He is a player that might well become one of, if not one of the best safeties in the entire NFL, and he's not the safety 2, but he's definitely, I think he's a safety 4 in this year's NFL draft though. So he's definitely a viable option at 71 if he falls a little bit. He might be there. 26, we got Kenneth Abney II. Again, this is a player who I think will fall to 71, but if he could, that'd be great. He's super good. He's another player that he's kind of young. He's pretty young. He has a very low passer rating, and he's had one other year outside. He had a great productive year this year, but he had another year that was pretty alright too. So Keith Abney II is really good, and I would like him at 71 too. A lot of these players, I like Keith Abney a lot. Maybe not as much as Chris Johnson and Colton Hood, but Keith Abney, man. Whew. If he falls down to 71, that might just be an auto pick, in my opinion. 27, Davidson Igbinosun, cornerback out of Ohio State. Another player he's 22 years old. He's a really good frame. He's allowed a really low passer rating, and he's super underrated. He's a player that might be that 71, by the way. Out of all the cornerbacks that I've named, and Davidson Igbinosun has the high chance of being there at 71. And that might be, if you go Carl Tate, trying to sign Styles, you might just have to go Davidson at 71. Personally, I think you might have to go because he might be there at 71. If not, he goes. I think he's either gonna be there at 71 or he goes pretty early in second round. I don't know, man. I don't know. 28. They got Jake Slaughter. Center is my third biggest need for Washington Commanders. So you can take Jake Slaughter. You can get Jake Slaughter on the football team, and I think he'll be better than Tyler Bias will ever be in his entire life. He's super athletic. He's 23 years old, though. He might be a little bit old, but he's an offensive lineman. That doesn't really matter all that much. This is the guy that you might want. That might be an option at 71 as well. So we'll find out. You could very well go corner wide receiver at 7, go Carl Tate at 7, go Jake Slaughter at 71. So who knows? There's a lot of things Commanders can do. 29, we got another Elijah Sarah, out of Indiana. He's really good. He's not as good as Omar Cooper, but he might be there at 71. He's really good. He's more of a big body wide receiver, but he can get the stuff done. He has more of a red zone type threat run all over him, but he can get stuff done. He can get a lot of stuff done when you think about it, though. But he's a good viable option at 71. He's decent at route running. He has all right hands, but he's good hands. He's good at consistent catching, and I like him a lot. And he's a good player that could be down outside of numbers too. So for Jane Daniels, so who knows? 30th, got Zachary Branch at Georgia. This is a really good slot wide receiver who will be there at 71 in my opinion. I think that Zachary Branch will most likely be there at 71, and Zachary Branch would be a great slot option for Jane Daniels, and you could definitely get a guy that Jane Daniels needs some wide receivers that can get separation. Zachary Branch will get separation for Jane Daniels. I like him a lot too. 31, we have Kamari Ramsey, a safety that I'm really certain will be that 71. Kamari Ramsey, you know what? If you don't have a safety, go Carmine Ramsey. Who knows, man? But he will be there at 71 most likely. I think he's a third round type player, and more likely than not, guys, he will be there at 71. And the final player on the top 32 big board for the Washington Commanders. Cornerback out. I'm pretty sure it's Georgia too. Dalen Everett. He is another really good cornerback with an alright frame. I think he just turned 22. He's pretty good. He's allowed an alright pass rating. He's really talented though, in my opinion, and I think he has a really good RAS score. So he's definitely a very, very good option for the Washington Commanders, and he might just be selection at 71. So yeah, that is it. That is my top 32 big board for the Washington Commanders. My top 32 big board for the Commanders if I was GM, and how I'd be walking into the NFL draft. Let me know if you have any opinions about this, anything that's changed. And well, guys, welcome to draft season, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a great time. The NFL draft's about to be so fun this year. And the Commanders fans, I think we're going to get a great player at 7. I think we're going to get a great player at 7 if that's Colonel Tate, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love as well. So we'll find out. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, especially if you're a Commanders fan. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're a football and NFL draft fan too. Make sure to eat some great food, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Have a great day. See ya.